Jarren Duran has been suspended 2 games after uttering an anti-gay slur at a fan in Sunday's game. His suspension begins effective immediately. He will miss tonight's game on ESPN against the Texas Rangers.
Okay. I would say, we can ask too much, too little, not enough. You can weigh in 617-779-7937. That sounds like the, I would say, appropriate amount. We were looking up some of these before the show. Pete Abe had a tweet earlier today from the Boston Globe, Peter Abraham, that usually the team is in charge of the discipline, not Major League Baseball. Read it again. It is the Red Sox suspending him, not Major League Baseball,
yes,
correct?
The team is suspending him.
Okay, thank you. So that's largely how baseball has handled these level of things. Kevin Pillar was suspended for 2 games for using a slur towards another player, a homophobic slur towards another player. This was back in 2017, I believe. We had the player, and now I'm blanking on the name, who wrote a slur in his eye black, suspended 3 games.
Escobar. Unil Escobar?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Suspended 3 games for it.
Can I just say real quick, that guy, Jarren Duran was angry and he yelled at this guy looked in a mirror,
premeditated,
and wrote it on his
yeah.
face like backwards in a mirror, which is unbelievable. But yeah, anyway.
But here's the point: they're all team levy suspensions. They're all like 2-3 games, so it feels like the going rate, the appropriate amount. Agree, disagree? Is that too much? Is it not enough? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much in line. I'm a little surprised it's not a little bit stronger just because of Fenway's recent history with controversy with the Adam Jones situation that wasn't that long ago. They did issue a press release that Ryan just alerted me to. They said it's in consultation with Major League Baseball and that his salary is going to be docked.
Okay, it should be. He's not playing. He's not going to be on the roster.
And it will be donated to the Federation of Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays.
Okay.
The United States' largest organization dedicated to supporting, educating, and advocating for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people.
Okay, so that's where his 2-game salary will go. To me, this now feels like it supersedes how bad it was on the field, and it's indicative of, to me, the Red Sox. Like when we look back on 2024, when was the season over? You could maybe say the trade deadline. If you want to say that, that's fair. I think the Shaughnessy's of the world would be saying that. They could have beefed up more at the deadline. I thought they were at least okay with the relievers. Maybe that'll be proven right. So far, that looks wrong. They didn't upgrade their starting pitching need. They did not, to me, to a satisfactory level. They didn't get a right-handed bat. So you can point to the trade deadline, a lot of you might. Getting swept and really not competitive in any of the 3 games. Saturday was quasi-competitive, I guess. They brought it to within a run in the 9th inning. They threatened a little bit in the 9th against Hader on Saturday. Yesterday was non-competitive. And then you have Duran getting suspended on top of it. 2 games, homophobic slur. And I've been saying all along, I'm not the only one to say it. Tomasi's written about it. When I was on BST, I've heard this. The Red Sox feel like they're onto something. Jarren Duran is the All-Star Game MVP. And it feels like it's a special season going on with the Red Sox. I've alluded to that before. Like, hey, look at all the things that are aligning, the stars that are aligning for their season. Well, it's the opposite of that. If we're going to point to an All-Star Game MVP as like a feel-good moment and this team is onto something, well, this is the inverse. So yesterday, this weekend, the Astros series feels like the point in the year that the Red Sox season is over. And to me, the worst part of the weekend is now this.
It's just to the Twitch chat really quickly. Mego, give it a rest. Who cares? Since when do we hold baseball players to a higher standard? I was just reading to you the Red Sox statement. So that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And secondly, I hold everyone to that standard. I'm not holding a baseball player to a higher standard.
Not a super high standard.
I think you probably shouldn't use that language.
Yeah, not to a paying customer. I mean, come on. Like, he yelled it to a fan. I'm surprised it's only 2 games. I thought he'd get more than that because it was directed at a fan. Like, when you start engaging the paying customers that way, that to me seems like more of an it than yelling it at a guy on another team. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Who knows who else heard it? I don't think anybody really knew about this until the video came out. And it seems like the Red Sox probably got wind of that. They put out their apology before anybody really even knew about this thing. And now it's just a 2-game suspension, which, again, I don't think what he did was the worst thing in the world, but it was certainly the type of thing that people get suspended for, not just in baseball, but in all sorts of different types of jobs. It's not something that's okay to do anymore. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Jarren Duran's a bad guy. I think he's kind of dumb for letting the least offensive heckle I've ever heard in my life get him that upset.
He's
the
sensitive. He's a sensitive
He's very
guy.
sensitive, but the guy was saying, hey, try swinging a tennis racket or something. It's not like he was swearing at him.
You need a tennis racket.
He didn't say anything really.
And that got him to go off the handle with a homophobic slur.
Yeah.
That's not a great sign.
In front of everyone.
So if you want to read up more
basically said we need a batter, not a broken ladder.
Right.
The dude went nuclear.
No.
What?
Yeah.
He's clearly dumb.
Okay, so if you want more on Duran and his history, and we can read from some of this, Tomasi wrote what I think is a decent column today about how Duran is many things, but he's not a leader, and this is evidence of that. He also linked to in that story a column that I missed from Joe McDonald, Joey Mack, at the Providence Journal. This is from back in July. This might have been right after he was named All-Star Game MVP. It was really written as a mea culpa to Duran, but there was a long list of, I would say, very, very minor incidents with Duran while he was a member of the Woo Sox. You know, showing up Rich Gedman, a little bit of insubordination, immaturity, sensitivity, stuff like that. So I direct you to read Joey Mack from back in July or Tomasi today if you want a little more on this.